G'day guys, welcome to Sumo's Projects and welcome to this video of the unboxing and setup and review of this Sherwood 14-inch bandsaw that is available from Timbercon here in Australia. Timbercon are in Melbourne and Perth, so they're a great option for woodworkers. There's a lot of different stores, but this is one I opted for as it's closer to travel and proximity to where I live. So I'm going to do this review. I hope you enjoy it, and if this is the first time to Sumo's Projects, I'd love it if you could just go ahead and do this. Now with Sherwood, as you'd expect, I've come to expect that it's good quality stuff, and the instruction manual is pretty spot on. It's a metric 13 ring open end spanner or a socket, whatever you got. I'll just show you the, if we look here, on the other side of this bolt there's a square, and it's also a square notch in here, so that goes through the square notch. And there's no room for play, so there's no spring washer or anything to worry about there. One of the first tasks you want to take on is to remove this protractor part off this cast fitting. This is going to be then attached via 4 bolts to the cast iron top. So this is the easiest way to do the assembly here. Just following the instructions, and you know, pretty much most things are self-explanatory. The 13mm ring open end spanner is what's needed. Once you've done the attachment, just put this this knob back on, and that tightens your table, the cast iron tabletop down. I'm really enjoying putting this together. It's a good piece of machinery, this bandsaw. The only thing I dislike is the fence that you get given with this range of product, because this is probably the cheapest of their range, and obviously you're not going to get the best of everything. But fortunately for me, I did purchase a while back, and I don't know why, but I had it in the cupboard. So I've got actually a really good fence I can put on this, and the only thing I've got to do is drill a few holes into the casting to allow a couple of nuts and bolts to be fitted to be able to mount this. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I think it's well worth it, and I'm really glad I found that part. So let's go. I pretty much believe, regardless of which manufacturer's bandsaw you purchase, you'll get things where you may need upgrades, and this is an upgrade of a fencing system that is pretty much necessary. I think the original fence is a little bit flimsy, so you know, just to spend a little bit extra and get something which will give you no hassles and long-term usage capability. So the only thing I had to do here was drill a couple of holes for alignment, and I had to file those holes out a little bit to elongate them. But as you can see, once this was mounted, the fence just slotted straight in and worked beautifully. The next step was to position your bearings in accordance to the blade, which I'll explain a little bit later on. Just having a look, we have the tensioning system, and just spinning the flywheel around, making sure everything was in smooth working order. And also here, this is our height adjustment. It was time to put this bandsaw through its paces. One of the things I did want to do after the assembly of this was to actually give the bandsaw a good workout. So I used it for several months in many different applications. This is, I put another blade in, a little bit thinner, and this allowed me to do a little bit more curvature type work, which I really wanted to do. That's most of the reason I bought this bandsaw. But as far as being able to do some resawing, as you can see here, it does it quite well. And yeah, a great little bandsaw. I've been putting this bandsaw through the paces for about 6 to 8 months now, and it's proven to be a diligent bit of a machinery because whilst only being a 14-inch bandsaw, it has quite a good capacity to do most of the functions you want to do. And for that reason, at the price that I paid for this, as I mentioned before, is a budget brand. It does an amazing job, and I don't think you would probably need anything greater than that if you're starting out in woodworking and you just wanted to get your foot in the door and be able to do curvature type cutting. And as you've seen, I did a little bit of resaw. I wouldn't resaw on this one. I do fortunately have another bandsaw with a bigger blade that is set up to be able to do resawing. But this particular bandsaw does a great job of most of the tasks that I punish it with. So a couple of the changes I did end up making, they weren't too drastic, but as I mentioned, being probably the lowest of the range of Sherwood bandsaws, the fence is it's pretty ordinary to say the least. But you know, you sort of, in anything you do, you sort of get what you pay for as you go upgrade the quality and the size of the machine. So it's nothing to add on an aftermarket type fence like this one. This one's a ripper, does a great job, easy to put on and off, and it works a treat for me. Another thing I did, the blade that comes with it, people don't know what you're going to do with these things, so I went back to the store and I said, look, the type of work I want to do, I want to have be able to do aggressive cuts. You know, it doesn't have to be a smooth finish off a bandsaw, because I've got other means to get a better finish later on. So I opted for this thinner blade. It's not sure what the TPI are, but I did ask for a blade that, you know, can get through the work pretty quick, and it's quite thin. So I think it's about around about an 8mm thick blade. So it does a great job. I can do. I haven't tried the bandsaw box type cuts yet, but for all the curvature work I've done, it hasn't let me down, so that's fantastic. Just with the height adjustment here, obviously there's a knob here, so once you undo this knob, it's a matter of just manually adjusting here the height that you want to set it at. There's no sweat about that. Here we have a protractor, able to move the table varying degrees, and that's something I'll probably never do, but it's good to have that option. 4-inch dust port. This is great, standard size. I generally just hook up my dust extraction system to it, and away we go. So to remove the cover, you'll need a flat blade screwdriver or something of the sort. Just undo your 2 screws here, and that'll then expose you to the top flywheel. On top here, we have our tensioning system. That sort of, you go a little bit on feel with this, so tighten it up, do your tensioning, and just keep an eye on your blade here. You know, as it sort of takes the slop out, you know you're just about there, and just keep playing with it until you do a few cuts and you see the result of that. So there's 2 knobs here at the back. That's for your tracking of where your blade is. Once you put your blade on, you want to run your hand around with the flywheel, and then it's a matter of doing a little bit of retensioning here. So you can undo the first one here, and then you can move this either way to get the tracking correct. So always go a little bit back off centre. I do anyway. I have my blade set back a little bit, and I find best results come from that positioning. So there's nothing really too much of a problem here to set this up. Just getting the blade in can be a little bit awkward. You've got to undo both covers, top and bottom flywheel have to be exposed, and Once you can get your blade in there, get it pretty close. You've got these bearings here. Now the bearing, a lot of people have different ways to set the bearings close to the blade. You can usually use a currency note, or some people even use cards or something like that. Give yourself a little bit of a gap so the blade doesn't ride too much friction fit against that bearing. But apart from that, I always say this is something I learned by reading the manual. Excellent manual, better than some companies give you, and by all means, I think I would rate this as an option to buy if you're on a budget and you want a bandsaw that can do a lot of the work you want to do. I'd probably go about an 8.5 out of 10 for this, even a 9. So, guys, do yourself a favour. If you're in the market for a bandsaw, don't go past Sherwood, or go and have a look at something similar, but I like this one, so good stuff.